Somewhere in the south of Italy, at the foot of the quiet green mountain Vesuvius, once stood one of the most prosperous cities of the Roman Empire, Pompeii. Today it seems like nothing more than ruins, but these stone walls still preserve the breath, the footsteps, and the cries of the people who once witnessed one of the greatest natural disasters of antiquity. This is the story of a city that disappeared from the face of the earth in a single day. A story that reminds us how fragile human civilization is before the power of nature. Before the catastrophe, Pompeii was a vibrant, wealthy and beautiful city. Around 20,000 people lived there. The streets were paved, the houses decorated with frescoes, and the baths were full of life. Romans came there to relax, discuss politics, and conduct business. At the markets, merchants offered bread, wine and olive oil. Craftsmen minted coins and made jewelry, and children ran through the streets playing among shops and fountains. Pompeii was part of the vast world of Rome, a world in which architecture, engineering, and culture had reached incredible heights. But above the city loomed a mountain no one paid attention to. For the Romans, it was simply a lovely hill. They did not know the word volcano and could not imagine that beneath the ground a force was gathering, one capable of wiping out an entire city in a single day. August 24th, 79 CE began like an ordinary warm summer day. In the morning, the residents went about their tasks, opened their shops, and began trading. Bakers pulled fresh loaves from their ovens, and life in the homes went on as usual. But soon the ground began to shake. At first, barely noticeable, no one paid much attention. Earthquakes were not uncommon in Campania. Then came the explosion, deafening, tearing the air apart. A giant column of dark smoke and ash shot into the sky. It rose higher and higher, tens of kilometers up. Within minutes, darkness fell over the city. Day turned into night. The sun disappeared. Ash began to fall from the cloud, hot, burning. It settled on the streets, on the rooftops, on the people who were running out in panic. Hour by hour, the layer of ash grew thicker. By evening, it was so heavy that roofs started to collapse. Panic engulfed the city. People tried to flee toward the sea, hoping that ships would save them. Others locked themselves in their homes, thinking the walls would protect them from the falling stones. But no one could escape what came in the night. Late in the evening, a pyroclastic surge burst out of Vesuvius, a mixture of fiery gas, ash, and stones heated to hundreds of degrees. It moved with the speed of a hurricane. Those who still remained in the city died instantly. The air turned poisonous, the temperature deadly. Everything alive vanished in a matter of minutes. By morning, the city lay buried under 6 meters of ash. Pompeii disappeared as if it had never existed. The ash sealed the city so thoroughly that it vanished not only physically, it disappeared from human memory. Centuries passed. The Roman Empire collapsed. Eras, peoples, and languages changed. On the site of the ancient city, herds grazed and vineyards grew. No one suspected that beneath their feet lay a frozen past. Only in the 18th century, when workers digging a trench accidentally discovered a wall decorated with ancient frescoes, did the story resurface. This marked the beginning of some of the most famous archaeological excavations in the world. With each layer of ash removed, the city appeared before scholars as if preserved in time. Streets that looked as though people had just walked down them. Shops where amphorae still lay on the shelves. Frescoes whose colors amazed even modern artists. Even a loaf of hardened bread that remained in the oven when its owner fled the house. But the most astonishing were the human silhouettes. The ash that covered the city formed a hard shell around the bodies. Centuries later, when archaeologists filled these cavities with plaster, figures emerged. People captured in the last seconds of their lives. Each such figure is not just an archaeological find, it is a story. Thanks to Pompeii, scientists gained the unique opportunity to look into the past. Today we know what an ordinary day of a Roman looked like, what they ate, what illnesses they suffered from, and how they decorated their homes. We have seen a world that usually disappears without a trace. Pompeii became a vast window into antiquity. But this city reminds us not only of ancient people, it reminds us of nature, its power, its unpredictability, its force. Vesuvius remains an active volcano even today. More than 1 million people live near it, and when they look at the ruins of Pompeii, they see not just a museum, they see a warning. Pompeii is a symbol of the fragility of civilization and the power of time. When you stand among the ancient streets, where silence preserves the memory of 2,000 years, you feel as if the past is still close. Every stone, every house, every imprint reminds us, everything we build can vanish in a single day. But memory remains. Pompeii perished, and that is why it became eternal.